Tranquil, Simona. It looks like the Holy Father hasn't moved from his private apartment and hasn't come to write anything at all in his personal diary as he used to.
I think, Matteo, that he must be feeling very bad. It's such a pity.
Oh.
Hi, guys. We're Piccolo and Fiona, John Paul II's bosom pigeons.
The Holy Father died in peace last night at 9:37 p.m. in his private apartment. He knew he was going to meet the Grandfather.
He suffered everything with serenity, even with the sweetness of a father.
He fought to foster the faith until the last days of his life.
Defender of the weak, of the exploited ones, of all the victims and prosecuted, defender of freedom and truth.
God bless you, John Paul II. May your memorial stay in our hearts forever. And your doctrines be kept to our minds in the present world.
God gratifies you with his reward for your great service to our world. Give us courage, Your Holiness.
With a great sadness, we face the reality of the death of our Holy Father, John Paul II. But we must remember him with joy because of his acts and his great hope and faith in Christ. The Pope was a real Christ's apostle.
You're right, Fiona. You all know that the day of his death coincides with the first Saturday of the month, which is the Virgin Mary's Devotion Day, of whom he was very, very fond.
Yes, and in Australia, the date coincides with the Sunday of the Divine Mercy, a devotion the Holy Father promoted in a very special way.
Do you remember, Piccolo? When we first met Carol? We've always been told by our ancestral pigeons that he was this tender to all of us, because we represent peace and harmony around the world.
Carol Wojtyła was a man full of love and faith. His life was a peculiar one.
There you are. Eat, my little white doves.
His life was a peculiar one. He was born in Wadowice, Cracovia in 1920. He lost his mother when he was a child and was raised in faith and Christianity by his father, a Polish army officer. Lolek, as he was called as a boy, was an optimistic, lovely child, somewhat chubby, with a sweet tooth for Wadowice cream pies. He would always go to Mass and was the first of his class at school. He also used to play football, loved to be goalkeeper.
Come on, you can do it. Come on.
As with lots of Polish boys, Lolek was an altar boy. It is said that the painful loss of his mother and sister, whom he never got to know, brought him his Marianne devotion, a fact that would determine his melancholic nature. His great love for the Virgin Mary grew precisely from this maternal absence at a very early age.
It was God's will.
But providence in Lolek's life has shown its mercy a lot of times too.
In autumn 1930, Lolek was 10 years old and lived with his father, and his brother Edmund finished his medicine career in Cracovia. One day while he was leaving school, something wonderful happened. Before lunch, while he was playing with his classmate, Boguslav, the son of the restaurant's owner.
Boguslav, I'm leaving my gun behind the counter. This way nothing will happen if I drink more than usual.
That's fine. Okay.
In the end, it was just a fright. Throughout his life, God saved Lolek's life several times so that he could develop his religious mission on earth. Since his childhood, the Pope showed his inclination for religious matters. The love he felt for God, he extended to his father, and especially to his brother Edmund Wojtyla, who he affectionately called Mundek.
Between them existed a great friendship, even though Edmund was a prestigious doctor and some years older than him, with whom he used to share long walks through the mountains, and the affection for skiing, activities he would continue practicing all his life.
You're tired, right? There you go.
Huh? They're my favorite. I love them. I'll catch you, Edmund. Ha!
But this friendship lasted a short time, seeing that in his youth Edmund caught scarlet fever from one of his patients and died when he was only 26.
It was God's will.
Despite the great pain that this misfortune caused Lolek, he understood that it was a divine plan and accepted it and resigned. After this disgrace, Lolek went to live in a small district in Cracovia with his father.
The passion for the theater grew in Karol Wojtyla during his adolescence, and he became an actor. When he was 15, he took part in different school plays, playing the main character and also being the director.
He finished his secondary studies at Ładowice Marcin Ładowice. He began his studies at the Cracovian Jagiellonic University and at a theater school. He had prominent results in his studies, and when he finished, he was the best of his class. The Archbishop was impressed by his speech and his academic results, inviting him to become priest. But he didn't want to. He wanted to become an actor.